Hey, good morning. Welcome back to my bait cave. I'm the old tired veteran, probably the most socially awkward guy on YouTube. So you're just gonna have to bear with me on that one. Looks like it's gonna be a very beautiful day down here today in South Texas. So I think I'm gonna do some open pour moles. I needed some swim baits. So what I'd like to do is bring you in on this video and show you the process. Here's one of the main pigments I'm gonna be working with today. Let's see if we can see that. Cosmic Crush. It's supposed to be a blue, green, teal, purple type of rollover. I think I'll just call these things Cosmic Crush Min'nas. So I had to cut y'all off right now, and I'll be back as soon as those moles are up to temp and I got some Cosmic Crush mixed up. All right, I'll bring you guys back. Got some really clear 242, all heated up, vacuumed out. So, Cosmic Crush. It's hard to work with this glove on, and I know it's safety reasons, but just wanna I got a half a cup of plastic, so I'm gonna put start with about an eighth of an eighth. We'll see what. I'm not exactly sure what I'm seeing in there. I think it's gonna have to be a little thicker than that. So I'll put another about the same thing right there. I'm not seeing any all those crazy colors supposed to have in it, but I do I can tell it's thickening up a bit. I'm afraid I don't want to put too much. Let me just put one more eighth. About an eighth. Didn't do too much of a change. Let that cool a little bit, and I might go look at it in the sun. This might be a good looking lateral line color, huh? I'm gonna add a little bit more. Just got to build it up real slow. Don't want to get too crazy. Especially, I mean, you can keep adding, but you can't take none out if you go a little overboard with it. All right. Let me just call that good right there. I'm gonna let that cool off, and I'm gonna be checking it out in the sun, and I'll bring you guys back. Okay, so after looking at it in the sun, I don't believe that this Cosmic Crush is gonna really be what I want it to be. I don't know if you can see if there's any green in there at all. I was hoping to see more green and maybe a little bit more purple. So I'm thinking my next step is to go a drop at a time of this purple crawl, and we'll see if it can actually be spruced up a little bit. I'm just going to do one at a time there, and one drop might go a long way. I'm getting what I want. See, I'm colorblind to green, so I can't see the green. But I can tell it enough to know what I'm thinking I want. I didn't even put that much. I might just have to scrap this program and start over again. I just don't. I'm not seeing it. It's not ever going to get to what I want. So that happens. I'll let this cool and make a puck and do something else with it. All right, hello. Today is day 2. Yesterday didn't turn out so well. This Cosmic Crush is not a good fish color. I couldn't get it to look good no matter what I did. I kind of got all up in my emotions, so I just decided to stop. My best girl was in the house there cooking some salmon in this jet air oven she has, and that stuff's really good. So at that point I just decided to quit. So the change up for today is going to be, I'm going to make some of these ZBR Min'nas, and this is just a simple red, orange, and black color shift. It usually comes out pretty good. I've used it before. And for the lateral line, the change is going to be it's going to be Lure Works, but usually it's written right here, but it's on the top. It's a highlight blue pearl. That's going to be my lateral line, and then everything else is going to be the same. So to save some time on this video and get back to where I was, I'm going to go ahead and get a cup of 242 all heated up, vacuumed out, and ready to go, and I'll get back with you when I'm ready to mix that ZBR. All right, so here's a half a cup of 242 Ultra Clear all ready to go. One thing about the half a cup, when you open pours, a half a cup or less is the easiest to control. For a half a cup, it usually takes, not quite a whole 1/8. I'm gonna get some smaller ones. I'm gonna get some 1/16, so maybe a 32nd, if I'm gonna start using this stuff more often. But that's about it. It really don't take a whole lot. Sometime with HyperShift, I find less is even better when you're really looking for that a real powerful shift. Yeah, see, I gotta heat this up a little bit more. But anyway, to get started, it's not that hard to mix in. It's not as hard to mix in as that highlight powder. So that's about it. That's perfect. Now this stuff is kind of spendy, but watch this. This is something else I always do, because in the back of my mind I think it's a little pricey. Get me a little couple dips of that. And I'm gonna let that cool. I'll show you in a second. I'm gonna go ahead and heat this plastic back up, and I'll show you what I'm gonna do with this. So I got that heated back up, but after this cools off, I just go ahead and peel that out of there. And that makes me, since I'm kind of tight, I just feel like I got everything. Used up the HyperShift to the, I guess some people say I'm a tight ass, but ain't it cool? Okay, so I got all the molds laid out on my hot plate, and I'm just putting a little bit of heat into them. I don't want them super hot yet, but in order to do the skin pour in the heads, I need them at least warm. You know, I really don't know exactly what temp it is. I make it so I can barely hang on. When like I can pick these up and move them around without hurting myself. But when I go to hold them for a minute to pour the heads in there, the skin pour that, they hot enough where I need a glove, so that if I held them too long, they would start getting irritating. So that one's gonna work, but I think I poured a little bit shallow. I prefer to get a little bit more in there, just like that. That was better. Bring that over there. Bring that up for the head. See, that's what I'm talking about. And let me show you something else that you don't have to worry about. See how that little streak over spilled a little bit? It was very simple, just to use the edge of that mold just to cut that right off. That's how it should look right there. All right, so got all the skin pouring done. The next thing we gotta do, so the next thing I gotta do is just put the hook slots in. On these molds like this that are kind of real tight tolerances, the molds have to be almost same temp to be able to get them laid down like that. If one half was hotter than the other, the pins might not line up. So that's just something to keep in mind. If you're doing this and you're having little issues with your pins actually lining up, just let them both cool off or heat them up to the same temperature, and it should go right together for you. I didn't show you the skin pouring on the 4-inch because it's kind of same thing, just pretty straightforward. Nothing to it. And they're the same way. Sometimes sometimes the pins just don't line up quite right, and you don't get them to come together real good. As it is, my 4-inch molds are wearing out, so I am going to wind up having some extra flashing down here in the hook slot. I don't know if you can see way down in there. There's a little gap. Like the hook slot's not as tight as it used to be when they were brand new. And I always have an issue with the liquid, the hot plastisol coming down into the hook slot, and that just makes it a little bit harder to open. So you just got to be careful with. So this next step is really important to me. This griddle is nice and flat. It's really, I think that's either 1/2 inch or 3/8 aluminum plate, and it heats up relatively even, or very, very even. It's a laboratory grade hot plate, and what I like to do is get these things like perfectly on here, so, make sure they're all squared up, and then start clamping them together. And the main reason I like to clamp them together is because I'll show you this. I want this to become a solid block, so that the heat transfers this way and this way everywhere, so that when we pour the plastic, it all well, I don't know what words I'm searching for here, but they all it's all the same temp, so everything, it flows perfectly, and it helps a lot from getting cold cracks and everything. Once you get it up to the right temperature, it's not gonna it's gonna adhere to each other real nice, because the first layer you pour in is gonna remain very, very tacky. So I think today I'm gonna see if I can turn them this way to get them on the camera. I usually have them turn the other way for filming purposes. I think if I do this, when I pour these bellies, I think you'll be able to see down in here. All right, so when I pour the first part of the belly, I only wanted to come up to this little bottom of the notch in this hook slot, if you can see that right there. I don't know how good of a job I'm doing with this camera. So I got some super clear 242, pulled it down to 30 inches of mercury, and I think this might, well, I'm gonna pour a couple right here where I really think you might better see it the best. So see, I just poured it in there. I'll let that run. A little bit more. I'll put a little drop in there. I'm just gonna let that run back like that. So you can see what I'm talking about. It didn't quite run all the way on this side, and that's because I'm not looking directly over it. Normally I try to get on top where I can see where it's going to run and come out evenly, but I'm just going to let that go because I don't want to mess nothing up. Let me see if I can do this one better. See, there we go. Now that's more like it. So the 4-inch, they're a little bit more difficult because there's no notch in the hook slot to use as a guide, but also they're smaller. So which one's best to see on the camera? I think I'll do these two, maybe that one on camera, and I'll do the other ones off so I can stick my head up under here. Right. So the very first one, I over poured a little bit. I wanted the full belly to be back. All right, since I'm already set up on these 4-inch, I'm just gonna go from here. So just want a super thin layer. That's it. And let's see if I can do that again with these 5-inchers. All right. A little bit easier just because they're bigger. But I can still feel my nerves. My nerves are shot. Nothing like trying to open pore on camera. All right, well, got this blue highlight. So I'm just gonna pour a couple of lateral lines. Get my head in here where I can see. Here we go. On these, I just wanted to slightly cover this right there. I don't want it running too much. I don't want it to run over the hump, really. All right, as with anything else, the smaller you go, a little bit harder, so got to concentrate a little bit more on these 4-inch. All right, almost lost control of that one. All right, so here's the final step. See, I think I'll just start right here again. This is basically what gives it its name, the ZBR. It's a little breezy, you can see that moving around. We'll try to fill this tail up. Well, that's about it right there. I still came out a little bit. I was trying so hard not to, and got the best of me. And I can't turn the fans off because of the obnoxious fumes. Even though this is low odor, it's still got fumes, you know, so you got to keep the ventilation going. All right, so that's more like it. We just got to ease it down into the tail. And that's it. So these 4-inchers are where I really start worrying. First is that they're hard to pour, but secondly, do I got enough plastic left? Granted, it don't take a lot, but a lot of times, man, like this, really cutting it close. But I'll pour up what I can. If I got to mix any more, I'll do it off camera, just so it's not boring. Let me go ahead and get this one way back here. Right. Well, hello. All right. So this is actually starting off on day 3. Can you believe that? It wouldn't have to be day 3, but had a chance to hang out with my dad yesterday after I poured these base while I was letting them cool, and I wouldn't pass that opportunity up. So I just figured I would just wait till this morning to get out here. Everything's all cooled off. I don't know if you can see it behind me, but everything is all cool, super cool, because stayed here overnight, which I do a lot of times. If it gets late in the evening, I just after I get them up to temperature, I just turn the hot plate off and wait till the next day. So let me get everybody spinning around here, and I'll show you what they look like. So I want to open up these 6-inch first. Let's just grab this one right here on the end and see what it looks like. So that's the basic idea. So this is the basic look that I was going for. Like I said, it's not a shad, just a Min'na. Got this blue lateral line. It's just a blue highlight. See the eye sockets, everything did really well. No signs of very much any cold cracking. So this is what I wanted to show you about the belly. See, I might have got a little bit thick right here. Pouring on camera was not the easy. It just should have been a little bit thinner. I should have got this a little bit thicker and the line a little thinner, but this is going to work still. Because this is the effect I like as it rolls. See how that shows through the clear belly. So that's the 5-inch. And here's another thing I wanted to bring your attention. See this little flashing right here? There's 2 ways you can deal with it. You can just hit it with a heat gun, and make it go away. Or if it's this thin like that, easy enough just to pull it. And this was actually one of the good ones, so no flaws. So anyway, that was the 5-inch. Here's the more commonly used 4-inch. And believe it or not, the 5-inch is not the biggest. Let's just take one that poured good the first time. See, when you get a little bitty dot like that, before you even open the mold, you can get that off. Not a problem. So here's an issue I think I was telling y'all about that earlier. If you happen to hit the side, if you shake a little too much like I did, and you hit the side, that's going to be a streak all the way down it. It's going to stay in there. There's nothing you can do about it, and I'm not going to do anything about it. That's just the way it is. I'm not going to sweat it. But on these actually flash a lot down here. These little, I think it might be time for me to either send off and order some new hook slots, or I don't know what else I would do. I doubt it's the herkiness. The mold is not changing. That's fine. So the only thing I can think of is the reason I'm getting this flashing nowadays is because this little thin piece I used to make the hook slot is just getting looser in the fit. Maybe some new ones will take care of that. And so here's what happens with that 90% of the time. If you're very careful, see, this one's going to act right. It just pulled that off. So it winds up being a non-issue. So I guess that's why I haven't really got too overzealous and tried to buy new hook slots. But it does the same thing. See that That whole entire belly sparkles. Even if I would have got stuck to my original plans and would have been able to do it, and made that little silver line just a little bit thinner, like my intentions were, it still would have done that. It would have showed through the bottom like this. And that's what I was going for. So anyway, let's open one more. This is how they should all be. That's textbook right there. They open nice. Ain't got nothing up there holding them. Come away from the mold real nice. And there you have it. I didn't get no over spillage in there. That's how they should all be. When I'm not trying to work under this camera lens and this lighting, when I don't need all that, that's normally how they're gonna come out. So don't be thinking you guys are gonna have that much trouble with these. Oh, I messed up again. See, I'm talking, and I'm not pulling this off the. If I would have flipped that around and pulled the hook slot right, this wouldn't have happened. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is you guys are not going to have this much trouble with these things if you buy a couple open pores and get to pour, and you won't have to worry about some of these issues I'm having, because first off, you're not going to be right away pouring on a camera. And secondly, if you do pour on a camera, you're probably going to be a lot calmer and more stable than I am. I'm just like I said, this camera for some reason when it's rolling, it just makes me nervous. But that's more about the size of. I still would have liked to have got that a little thinner, but it still gives it that effect. Ain't that cool how it just kind of magnifies through there? Well, now I got to show you one more because I keep messing up that hook slot. So we'll just open it up. See, it's got the hook slot issue. I think the easiest thing for me to do is this way, so I can actually watch what I'm doing. See if I can get it to act right. Almost. See, it's kind of catching right here. Let's put my thumb down there, and I'll just break it away. Look, it's catching here a little bit too. Just be patient. Let it tear. You know, don't yank it really fast. Just kind of let it. See, I went too fast with that one, but just let it kind of find itself and tear itself. I left a little bit on this side. Well, y'all saw the first one, so you get the gist of what I'm saying. All right, well, let me get these cleaned up, and I'll meet you back at the other table and put some eyes on these things. All right, so got some 8mm eyes for the 5-inch and some 6mm eyes for the 4-inch. And normally on a regular basis, I would let these sit out and cure for about 24 to 48 hours before I take the time to put these eyes on. And of course, hopefully by then too, the idea is you can have a whole bunch more done. But for the purpose of this video, I'm just gonna do these right here right quick, get these finished. So putting eyes in is pretty simple. This is what I find to be the best glue is Loctite super glue. It's ultra control gel. This gel keeps it from running all over the place. So you know I can get it in the eye socket. Excuse me. So I can get it in the eye socket, and it's just gonna sit there like that. Even when I flip it over, it's gonna sit there just like that. And then you can kind of handle the eyes any way you want. You know, I find it easiest to use the tweezers. kind of work it down in there. Get it centered up in the eye socket. And that's it. I wish I had some sunshine. These things really look cool in the sun. Alright, so on a 5-inch is the same way. This just takes a bigger eye. So I got a slightly different type of eye for these. See, whoop, I don't want to use that one. I like these little crosses in them. I had some 6 millimeters like this, but I ran out. So it's a lot easier because it's a bigger socket, you know. So today I'm gonna try something new. Might be kind of cool. Is I'm just gonna slant that cross in there just a little bit like that. Normally I make it go either straight across or up and down. I start thinking that might look a little bit meaner. Because I want it to look angry, you know. I don't know if fish have emotions, but I like using reds because I think it puts a fear in them. I think it looks predatory or whatever, and they just hit it out of anger or fear. So that's it. It's the same thing as the 4-inch, just bigger eye socket, easier to put in. Nothing to it. All right, so that's a ZBR HyperShift Min'na. That's one way to use it. And I don't have any sunshine today. Unfortunately, it's raining. So you get enough light on that to really show you the actual color shift, but it's a really cool color. It's one of my favorites, and I wish I had enough light in my shop to really show you what its potential is to look like. The lights I have going today ain't really doing it justice. But I really wanted this video just to take you along the journey and show you how to do an open pore mold and different some of my techniques. There's a lot of other techniques, and kind of just give you some of my ideas about it, and you can see why from this video how time consuming it is, and why if you buy an open pore baits from somebody, it might be a little bit more spendy. So it's not really that much more plastic or materials or anything like that. It's just really time consuming. So one more thing I want to show you guys real quick before I get off of here is people a lot of times ask me about these shirts that I've been wearing. So I got one right here behind me. These are from well, y'all know I was in the service 30 years. I was active duty for 30 years, and when I got out, I had an auto upholstery shop that I ran for a few years, kind of into my interim. It was more part-time. Once it got too busy, it's cutting into my fishing, so I had to finally just close that down and concentrate strictly on fishing stuff. But anyway, this is a work shirt. See, that was my company right there. If you can read that, Helmer's Upholstery. And the 22 is a lot of people don't know 22 too many, because 22 vets kill themselves every day, and it's a real problem here in this country. And I had these shirts made up is a giveaway. So I gave one of these to all my customers. I used to keep a box of them and on hand, and anytime I got a new customer or I was finished a job for a customer, I gave them a few shirts. And I had some ball caps, but these were also my work shirts that I actually wore around the shop working. And I'm seriously thinking about keeping a front logo, keeping the 22 too many, because it's still something that's really, really dear and heavy to my heart. But I'm gonna get rid of this instead of this old upholstery shop logo. I'm gonna see about putting my new logo on it. This is the logo that I put on the baits I send out on these bags. I'm thinking about like just having this, maybe this oval, maybe not having an oval on it, but maybe just the words in white or black or something. So that's an idea I had. If you guys think it's a good idea, let me know. It's just for giveaway shirts. I'm not in no mood to sell any shirts. I don't really want an apparel line or anything like that. I'm a bait maker, right? I know I told y'all earlier that this video took me 3 days because, like yesterday, I hung out with my dad all afternoon, which was great. And I want to get off of here really quick because I actually had the opportunity to hang out with my dad again. We're gonna go eat some pizza, and I sure don't want to miss that opportunity. So I think I will let you guys go. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. When you guys leave me a like and a comment, I really can't tell you how much that means to me. One thing you miss about being active duty for 30 years, you think you want to get out, and you really do, but there's a lot of missed camaraderie. So a lot of you guys out there take that place for me, and I really, really appreciate it. Like I said, I love all your comments. So when you get the opportunity and you got some friends of yours out there that are fishermen or fisher people, men and women, that actually would like to start learning some of my techniques, which I always say aren't the only techniques, but they'd like to learn my techniques, give them a holler and tell them to look me up and give me a follow. I'd really appreciate it. Also, you can find me on Instagram. It's a lot easier to talk on Instagram through Instant Messenger. So once again, I'm your old tired veteran. You know what I'm going to say next, right? I got to. Don't forget to go fishing. Don't let this rat race hold you guys back from going fishing, and take your kids fishing. They love this just as much as you do, or maybe more. And lead by example and show those kids out in the world. Let you be the reason why those kids think there's good people in this world. Let them know there is good people in this world. The only way you can do that is show them by example. So until next time, you guys please be safe out there, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks. Never can see that butt.